Sort of a surprise special guest here with us in studio. Antonio Dowe is here now.
What's up,
Antonio
man?
was on our noon show promoting some things that we're about to dive into here, and we were lucky enough to have you volunteer to stick around and hang with us here a little bit on the Live Impact News. Now, this is your first time on this platform.
Yeah.
What do you think? Looking around, what do you think?
Looks nice, man. I like how you guys are trying to find your way into the digital space. I think it's super important.
Yeah.
The digital space is that immediate gratification, that immediate passive information. So I think it's really cool to see you guys jumping into space.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're trying to grow it. We're learning lessons every day, it feels like.
Yeah,
we're
for
going to
sure.
jump into this RnB Block Party here in a moment. You do a lot of events here in Hampton Roads.
Yeah, man. We own a production company called Global Music Touring. So we're all about live production, entertainment, education, kind of spearheading, that space. So we try to do as much at home as possible. We do travel, do a lot of national work too, but it's always been really important to us to be impactful at home and create avenues. So it's exciting.
I want to stay with our first topic and our second topic.
Yeah.
Seeing Live Impact News, seeing sort of the steps we're taking into digital, and then what you do with live entertainment, which is something that is very distinctly an in-person experience at its highest value level.
Yeah.
How does digital media factor into what you guys do in 2026? How do you utilize that to your benefit?
I think for us, man, it's probably the same for you guys. The cell phone is the immediate line of communication. And I think digital media has a chance to, and maybe not even a chance, it's doing it. It's forcing the opportunity to be larger than what you get from traditional media platforms, where it's a lot more time slotted based, with digital media and in any digital assets, period, man, it's really at your fingertips, at your disposal. So I think in the lifestyles that we all have now, I think being able to have something when you need it versus how we all grew up, where you had to be up at 6 a.m. to get certain news. You had to watch news at noon. It cycles so much, that as much as you guys may want to have the same show at noon and at 6 p.m., it's actually not possible when so many things are happening, right? And you have to report those things in real time. So being able to get into the digital space where it's still real time, but it's at the consumer's fingertips of when they need it versus when you have to give it to them, I think is a big thing. So,
have you live streamed any of your events in full yet?
No, we haven't live streamed in full. There's so much that goes into live streaming. The biggest side of it is usually getting the talent and these large entertainers to even want to be live streamed. And then once you get into that, you got to get into the finance of what you're doing with the live stream. It's a lot that goes into it. Like, people should highly respect live streams when they're watching them and know that the behind the scenes of making that stream happen took people like us a lot to do.
And I want to ask one more existential question, just because we get the chance to talk to you here before we dive in.
Good.
When you're I see a lot of people complaining, maybe people who are a little bit closer to the millennial generation or older, when you see the younger generation at concerts now, it's a lot of standing there with the phone in the air. And maybe even more of those people than people without a phone in their hands.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Is that necessarily a bad thing? How do you feel about how that concert-going experience is changing in that way?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think they're capturing it. I think it's one of those things where, we didn't have, if we had cell phones to do that as a millennial, right? If we had cell phones to do that, we would have done it too. Can you imagine, or even our parents, you never would have went to a Michael Jackson show and not recorded it if you could, right? So I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't think it doesn't mean they're engaged. I think they're just documenting their memory. I think it's remember how we used to write our names and say, I was here on this date somewhere, and that was kind of like us documenting ourselves, So for them, it's kind of more just a live documentation. I think it's pretty cool. In my space, they all turned into promoters for the brand or for whatever we were doing. So it actually adversely works in our benefit when you have 4,000 people showing that they were there. The other 1,000 people who may have decided not to come as naysayers or, you know, just didn't want to be there may push them over the fence when you see so many other people there, you know, live documenting it. So
a little bit of free advertising.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a bad thing. Never a bad thing. Now, for an RnB Block Party in Norfolk on 4th of July weekend, you don't need much advertising to get the city of Norfolk excited about something like that.
Yeah, man. We have been very, very fortunate that RnB Block Party, for one, is not something that we do every day, every weekend, right? It comes around, it's usually synonymous with something celebratory, a holiday weekend, a homecoming, MEAC basketball tournament, a lot of partnerships that we do and things like that. So we've been very fortunate that we've been able to build a brand and build a consumer base that knows exactly what they're going to get when they go. They know what the ticket prices are going to look like. They understand the process and procedures, which takes time. We started RnB Block Party in 2022 in partnership with Scope Arena. And at that very first RnB Block Party, we only sold like 800 tickets, right? And like now you see RnB Block Party and it's thousands of people every time. So I think we've been extremely blessed to have a brand that people believe in and make their own. And that's been a working force for us.
Yeah, man. 2026 MEAC basketball tournament block party sold out.
It did.
Sold out the Scope Arena.
MEAC sold out 2 years in a row, man.
2 years in a row sold out.
Last year and this year, yeah.
People who want to go to the event this weekend.
Yeah.
And they're wondering, okay, what am I going to see? What's it going to feel like? What kind of vibe am I going to get at an RnB block party at the Scope Arena in Norfolk? How would you explain it to them?
Man, it's a millennial dance party. Like, it's all the 90s and 2000s R&B music, and the DJs do a great job of moving it around, but it's a very safe, adult-based, fun time, right? We add food trucks, so there's that element. This time on this Saturday, we'll be inside of Scope Arena because it's going to be 100 degrees outside. So we'll be indoors. But it's just a good time. It's the right way to party, and it's always just a really good time. So I would expect to dance all night, wear your dancing shoes, and come enjoy.
DJ Diamond Cuts. I mean, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan myself.
Really?
I hear that the team DJ is coming through. That gets me a little bit excited.
Yeah. So this is the second time we've been able to work with Diamond Cuts. She was our house stage DJ last year for Cousins Festival. We brought her back this year. She is the official DJ of the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think like Virginia, DC, Philadelphia, Maryland, New York, we all have like this synonymous energy of kind of a family feel. So you see a lot of transplants. You liking the Eagles must mean you have some type of correlation with Philadelphia.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm actually from here. And I became an Eagles fan because I was a Sixers fan because Allen Iverson was a Philadelphia 76er. Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying, man. He did that to a lot of us, right? But it's cool to have her in. We're excited about that. We also got Lonnie B coming from Richmond. And then one thing that we did with this RnB Block Party is all of the rest of the DJs are all Hampton Roads DJs. And, you know, we do that sometimes. We did it last year for Juneteenth where we try to use a larger group of the local DJs. We started the RnB Block Party with local DJs, so we always want to make sure that they have a platform.
Very good. And when you think about Philly or Chicago or Atlanta, they describe certain cities as having a very specific sound.
Yeah.
Do you think Hampton Roads has a specific sound when you talk about these local DJs and performers?
I honestly don't. And in a good way. I think Hampton Roads and the 757 is probably one of the largest influencers of style and entertainment in the world, right? Like, the athletes and entertainers that come out of here are all people who have created something of their own and have been able to mimic things that we've seen and heard and make it better than where we've seen and heard it. So I think the best thing about this place is it's a melting pot. So some of these guys are here now, may have grown up in New York, right? But then they come here and catch some of this energy. Now you're getting a little bit of what they grew up on versus what they know now. So I wouldn't say we have a specific sound. I would say we adapt well, and we're really, really good creators here. So Yeah, I think these guys are in a league of their own, man.
And I totally agree. I've always wondered why that is, but I think you put it really well, right?
Yeah.
Is that we do have sort of a melting pot aspect to our area, especially with the military, especially with the 7 cities.
Absolutely.
So hopefully all 7 cities come together this weekend for the RnB Block Party, 4th of July at the Scope Arena.
For sure.
Where can people get tickets?
So you can go to 2 places. You can go to the RnBBlockParty.com. If you go to that, that's our production website. That'll allow you to see everything that we're doing. But specifically, tickets for this weekend's RnB Block Party. If it's easier for you, you can go to the Scope box office during their normal business hours, and going to the box office will allow you to deduct the Ticketmaster fees, which is ridiculous. So I always encourage people, I don't show Ticketmaster any love. Like, you won't get it from me. I think it's abusive. So
straight to the source.
Straight to the source, man. Go to Scope box office and get the tickets for sure.
Well, we appreciate you being a good source for us here on all things music in the 757.
Absolutely.
Antonio Dowe, willing to answer questions even outside of the events that you're putting on, man.
Nah,
we really
man,
appreciate it.
It's all good.
And
I'm happy
have
to
a
be
great
here.
weekend.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. The studio looks great. Sending you guys a lot of well wishes, man.
I appreciate it. I'm sure we'll see you in here again before long.
Absolutely.
All right, now you heard him. 2 straight sellouts for the RnB Block Party at the Scope. So make sure you go and get those tickets if you plan on doing so. And you mentioned something else, which is that it's going to be inside. We just talked about those 100-degree days that are coming, 99-degree days. This is an opportunity to maybe be in some AC but still celebrate.